Hey, welcome to Fantasy Baseball, Baseball, Baseball. I'm Dan O'Day along with Steve Romano. Hey, Steve, why don't we talk about our Roto League DraftMasters?
I like DraftMasters.
It's
I'm
a
a
great,
fan of it.
it's a great league. Been together for 18 years, 16 live auction drafts in Vegas of those 18 years. A pretty active league, 10 teams, standard 5 by 5, except solds instead of saves. So it's been a very interesting week. Some up and down by players, but once again, the leaders are the Baseball Furies.
Baseball Furies at 75.
Yeah.
With now with a little bit of a run there. Like remember they were like six ahead of second place when Garrett said they were running away with it. Then it all came crashing back, and there was a bunch of teams bunched up. And now it's a week later after that, and Zach's back out in front by 6 points basically again.
Yeah, 5.5 points looking at it, and 42.5 pitching points, but 32.5 batting points. Both good numbers, but his batting, I think, has fallen a bit in the past week. Ape is second, 69.5 points, and Highland Park Crushers, 68.5 points. They were above 70 for a lot of the past month or two. Just behind him, though, right behind him. And then the Stony Scrappers, 66.5 points, and Seatown, 62 points, gives us our top five teams.
Yeah, top five right there. 13 points separates all of it. Only 7.5 separates second through fifth. And as we've already discussed, I mean, Zach can rise or fall 6 points fairly easily. Um, yeah, those are your teams right now. I mean,
Yeah,
we're about 44% of the way through the season.
right.
And as we approach the halfway mark, those are your contenders.
Right.
Zach, Rick, Garrett, yourself, and Mike.
And 13 games is nothing with this much time. 60%, 60, 50 some percent left,
Yep.
I think myself. Anything can happen in just a month or two. So there's a decent amount of baseball left, obviously. Then the bottom six, you are at 49.5. You had an up and down week. You were as high as 54, maybe, or 52. You're settling in at 49.5 right now. Then the sluggers at 49 points. Tommy Baseball at 45 points. Baldy, 260 reasons, 42.5 points. And then Big Al's 22.5 points. So what your team had a good week. You had texted me at one point, which I appreciate because I like it. And you're like, look at the
Yeah.
standings. You were 7 points behind me. You were a little higher, and I was a little lower. And you were just 7 points behind me. Sorry, six.
Yeah. Oh, it was close.
Yeah,
It was close.
yeah,
Maybe you were at 50. It might have been, yeah, you were at 57.5, and I was at 52. I think that's what it was.
right. And now it's 17-point difference between us. So you can see how the standings can fluctuate even at this point in the season. Um, your team's pitching is at 28.5, respectable. Your hitting's at 21 points batting.
Yeah. Which is better than the, you know, 10.5 it was at a month ago.
Right. And I feel the same way. Last week I was at 15 points batting. I think you might remember. This week I'm at 20, right behind you, but I lead the league in pitching category, 46.5 pitching points.
Yeah. And 46, remembering that on the pitching. And Garrett, remember, he had the perfect 50 last week, didn't he?
Yes, he
In hitting?
yeah, he's now at 48.5. You're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, his batting and your pitching have been equally dominant pretty
True,
much to this point.
true to
You
this
know what I mean?
point, you are correct. You are correct. The perfect team would be his batters with my pitchers.
Yes.
Yes, that would be
Or
the
your pitchers with his batters.
right.
That would work too.
Um, it's pretty interesting, without a doubt, to notice that because his batting is a little lower, but he's been dominating all year. My pitching has been good, but bringing up my team, I have a little worry on the horizon because I traded away Ryan early in the year. He's been pitching well for Minnesota, and then I traded away Degrom, who's we've talked about in another segment. He's having such a great bounce back year. It's so great to see. Um, but now I have my own injury with Senga. So that's a third really
Yep.
good starter I had. that I'm losing, and I'm down to
Yep.
four. I'm down to four starters now. I got rid of the Phillies rookie because I didn't need to keep him, and I'm down to Wheeler, Ray, Sanchez, and Suarez. So three Phillies and a Giant.
Wow.
I got Senga and Reagans. Another pitcher went on the IL. Big loss.
Well, really, I think I only have four starters going currently right now for the past maybe 10 days or so in my roster,
Yeah.
maybe 2 weeks. I've had a bunch of injuries on my starting staff, but I've also been fairly ahead of innings. So it's
That's
not
how I
anything I
feel.
really need to, it's not anything I need to jump at concern just yet.
I exactly how I feel. I'm like, well, that's the only silver lining to these guys being injured is my innings will come down a little. I'm not looking to pick up a fifth starter necessarily at all. I did pick up a guy who personally I love his first name, Chase. Chase Burns, highly touted Cincinnati Red pitcher who's in the
Yeah.
minor leagues. So I mean, I've heard him compared to Skeens. One of the fantasy experts did. So I mean, I'm not saying he's that good, but obviously high pedigree. I picked him up to stash him in the minors. So yeah, my team is hanging pretty good. There's very close standings overall. Um, what are your thoughts about your chances of 49.5 points? How you feeling? Because you just were at 54 or so.
Yeah. I kind of, I'm still in going for fourth. I think I can make it.
Right.
I mean, I don't, it's possible. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm not saying I think I'm going to do it. I'm just saying I think it's possible. So why wouldn't I run it out? Play it out.
Well, my
The,
whole thing is if you're shooting for fourth, stay with me here. Fourth is at 66.5 points. Second is at 69.5. So I'm just saying, if you're shooting for fourth, 3 points higher is second.
True. But actually, I mean, I know you're thinking about gaining points,
Oh yeah,
but I'm also betting on the fact or on the possibility that you would lose points. So
absolutely.
so I'm thinking if fourth place can be 62,
Yeah.
then that's achievable. You know what I mean? But if fourth place is going to be 68, no, that's not really achievable.
Right, right. Interesting, interesting. So one thing I wanted to go over is a couple of our listeners' teams. I know one team that's been having such a great year, of course, is Garrett's team, the Highland Park Crushers, and you know, uh, just really impressive. I think how his offenses be, but he got Degrom from me, and he got Hayter from Houston. And Hayter's had a good run, picking up a bunch of saves and a win or two recently.
Yeah.
He's been pitching great. So how I feel about my offense, I think Garrett's got at least feeling optimistic about his starters and pitching stats, except he's got I don't know how is Zach Gallen pitching. His overall stats are 5.19 ERA and a 1.35 whip.
Yeah.
So
He's
Mike
been a huge disappointment. He shouldn't be getting a lot of
86 innings,
starts.
81 strikeouts, but I mean, is he starting him a lot? I mean, is that one of the reasons? Holton 409 and a 124. He's used as a starter. Gore has been fantastic. As we said, he's leading the major leagues in strikeouts. 2.89 ERA, a 1.14 WHIP.
I
I didn't realize he was doing that well, but he's only 3-6.
I can tell you right now. So I just went to a page under the players, blah blah blah. Switch it to fantasy, sort by innings pitched. So these are all his not these are stats that have been accumulated by his players when
Right,
active.
right.
The pitcher who has been active for the most innings for him is Zach Gallen.
Oh my
So he's at 86.7 innings, and he's got those terrible numbers,
God.
5.19, 1.35, like you
So
said.
it's not surprising his stats in pitching are where they're at. So let's talk about that. When do you pull a guy who has a history that he's been pretty good? Do you ride things out? But apparently Garrett has tried to get every game. Seems like right. I'm looking in the beginning. He
Yeah.
gave up 4 runs, 0 runs, then 5 runs, then 2 runs, then 6 runs. So a back and forth seesaw there. Then 3 runs, and they had a couple good games of only giving up 1 runs, 4 innings and 7 innings. But then 4-6, 4-6, 3-4-4.
Yeah.
And
And if I go
oh,
to
there's a one. That's
even
an
even
unearned run. Unearned run. Yeah, go ahead.
even if I just go to the last 28 days,
Yeah.
he leads all of his pitchers in innings over the last 28 days with 30.7 innings. And he's only got 22 Ks in those 30.7 innings. Um, his ERA is 5.28 and 1.30.
Oh, I don't want to give anyone advice, so I won't say anything. Like, he probably shouldn't start him as much as he is. But when did Hunter Green get hurt, and when did Imanaga get hurt?
Gee, well, Imanaga hasn't played in the past 28 days.
Okay,
I can tell you that.
but Green was kind of recent, and he was pitching well.
Yeah, he was
So
doing all right.
yeah,
He's got he's only got 10 innings in the last 28 days.
right.
Well, Gallen has 30, Mackenzie Gore has 25, DeGrom has 13.
Yeah, so Green was a big
Cole,
loss. See, it's 59 innings
yeah,
pitched this year. I don't know if Garrett has them all. 73 Ks, 2.71 ERA, 0.97 WHIP, only 4-3. But that was a big loss. But I don't know if Zach Gallen is the answer, as it has not been all year for him. So I hope he keeps starting him. I really do. He did lose Vest, who was pitching good. He got a injury on his finger, so we'll see if Vest has been pitching really well for him. But that's a sold category. There are a dime a dozen, Steve. The sold category, it's wide open. It's a wild west of players to choose from.
hey, let's take a look at the Baseball Furies team
We should.
because he is in first. He's been in first for probably 40% of the year,
I don't know if
30% for
he's a
sure.
listener, but let's go over his team. He's got a
And
good team. He's talking about how Rice became a catcher, and that's a good thing for him.
it is, except
It's
does
his
it won't matter if he's not getting starts now.
right.
Because I mean, unless are they really going to start him there frequently? I mean, even if he's the backup catcher and he's the backup DH, because we all know Stanton's not going to DH every damn day.
No.
Um, that's still a
Four, four,
50%
five.
reduction of playing time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's only going to get
Compared to
4, maybe games a week, maybe 5.
yeah, yeah,
4. Yeah, four seems more
4.
likely. Yeah, yeah, at the most. So
So
that
yeah,
yeah,
but
but as a third catcher, because I think he has oh no, he's got rushing as a DH spot right now, only because he's playing, but he's not in the lineup tonight. His catcher situation for a guy who's gone through about 20 catchers, not that impressive. I mean, obviously, you know, uh, the Orioles catcher is great, Adley, but he's having
these
a
are
down year.
I'm gonna tell you some catchers who've had at bats for Zach's team.
I'd love to hear that.
Okay, Jake Rogers of Detroit, Gary Sanchez of Baltimore, Henry Davis of Pittsburgh, Nick Fortes of Miami, Bo Naylor of Cleveland, Thomas Nido of Detroit, Dalton Rushing of the Dodgers, Edgar Quero of the White Sox, do 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 do, Dylan Dillinger or Dylan Dingler from Detroit, Ben Rice now, if you want to count him. I don't know if you would.
Yep. Yeah.
And Adley Rushman from Baltimore. And that's it. So those are all his catchers.
Well, I counted. I used my fingers or my abacus, whatever your mind
Yeah.
wants to see me using. And I counted 11. 11 people have played
11?
catcher. Yep.
Wow.
It's a lot of
Not bad.
catchers. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Probably a record.
And looking at his innings pitched for the year,
What is the
um,
leaders? Yeah. Go over the list of the leaders.
oh, okay. And for everybody? Well, let's do
Yeah.
Zach real quick. I'm looking
Yeah.
because he's got Scooble's been great and he's thrown 90 innings of greatness, right? Rodon has been very, very good, almost great. He was kind of great until a start ago, I think. 89.7. And then Andrew Abbott, 47 innings. Bird Song, 38 innings. He had Tyler Mahle, who's on the IL. Cade Smith, look at 31 innings out of a relief pitcher, not
He
even at the
he's
middies.
he's been pitching well too.
Look at that. Brian Abreu, a relief pitcher for Houston with 30 innings. Ryan Walker, 28 innings. Look at all these relief pitchers on pace for like 70 innings.
It's impressive.
I guess that's kind of the way it is these days, right?
Yeah, I
Starters aren't going deep, and so more pitchers are relief guys are pitching more, I guess.
I mean 200 is elite as a starter, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
for a starter.
ridiculous. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous. So we some relievers are almost getting half of what a lot of relievers probably do get half because a lot of starters are only getting 150 to 180.
exactly.
That's
So
crazy.
that just it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it is. All right, so innings pitched for everybody. Looking at it now, Dan has 6,000. No, yeah, 617, 617. Rick's at 598. Tom's at 598. Zach's at 586. I'm at 584. Chris is at 577. Garrett's at 561. Mike's at 556. Hunter's at 552. Eddie's last at 502.
Innings. Well, yeah, and understandably with big out long balls, it's a shame. Feel bad about his team. One question to you, and I'm trying the four starters now that I have, like you, I'm like, that's okay. I lead in innings pitched, so it's okay if I come down a little. Um, but I wanted to ask you about the possibility. I think in the coming month, we're going to see somebody make a big trade because, they got, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if any of these lower tier teams in the next month, which could include you, I think not. But if someone's like, hey, I'm trading a high salary guy for a couple of guys who could be good next year.
Oh, yeah. We're getting close, right? That's
Yeah.
I mean, once you get yeah, you can't wait till the deadline, I don't think.
I think it's always better to pull it off before. Any interesting tidbits of moves made in the past week that you remember?
Um, I don't
Tommy
think
Baseball
so.
dropped his Colorado shortstop Tovar.
Yeah, I went and looked and he has been kind of stinky.
Yeah, there was a small trade, wasn't there? A two-player trade. Victor
I'm
Scott
looking at
for Felix Bautista.
yeah, I didn't really understand that.
Me neither, but they made it, and that was interesting. Victor Scott. I mean, I understand going after Victor Scott because you're taking a long shot. You want stolen bases, and if he plays, he will not bring you much else but stolen bases. I believe in his upside, but yeah, it was an interesting trade. Bautista, a decent sold guy. I picked up McNeil for the Mets. I was really happy about that because he's playing well.
Yep.
Tommy Baseball,
And
I thought made a great move picking up Adele.
he's playing well right now for sure. Like
Counting stats.
maybe the
Yeah.
best 2 week stretch he's ever had, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe. No, he's had other. I remember before he's had weeks, at a time. But he dropped. Just want to bring it up because we brought it up before. Jordan Romano from the Phillies, who's been picked up and
Yeah.
dropped a lot this year.
He's one of those guys though, Romano, you could look at it and because overall the numbers aren't good, right?
Yeah,
Because he's had these random blow ups. But it's like the blow ups, it's like a fence post, right? The blow ups are the fence posts. But then he has all these great fucking starts in between, and you're like,
relief. Yeah, relief
oh, and
appearances.
then
Yeah,
and so if you like, yeah, sorry, yes, but if so if you sort by like a week or something, if you get the right week, you might be
right.
like, oh
You're like, oh,
damn,
dominant. Dang. Uh,
dominant,
but
dominant,
but those
and then you
blow-ups hurt
grab them,
fantasy. Oh.
and then another blow up happens. Exactly.
Yeah, and once again, in a Souls league, not as important. In a saves league, someone's rostering him to the end because he gets saves.
Yeah, he's never getting dropped.
He's never getting dropped. A couple of good pickups, I thought also Tommy Baseball picked up Adamas and dropped Estrada, the reliever. Adamas, I totally understand why Eddie dropped him. it was part of
Yep.
his purge. I thought that was a great thing. Eddie dropped Santander and him and somebody else. Um, but I think taking a flyer on Adamas was a good idea, especially with them getting Devers out of the blue. That could up his offensive
Yeah. Well,
numbers.
the foresight of that now it looks
Yes.
much better. I mean, who knows if what could happen with Adamas if you put Devers hitting behind him? That could change everything.
It changes everything, not just because of his bat, but I believe in the player coming in and people just feeling different. There's a certain energy that happens. You know what I mean? And if I'm a Giant fan, or a Giant player, I'm feeling that energy, man. Look at management bringing in Devers. Way to go! Sorry, I'll miss you guys. Who was it? Hicks and somebody else. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought that was a great trade, absolutely for the Giants, and it will possibly bring up a Adamas game. And Tommy's a guy who's, like you, kind of far back, but at the same time, a couple good weeks, he could be into it. And Tommy, as we brought up before, he kind of went against the logic, but he is behind in games played and at bats. He does have 16 batting points. I think that actually came up, but I'm not sure from last week. His pitching has gone down a little 30, but respectable enough. So picking up Adamas could help him immensely now that Devers is there.
It could. That could be some good. Or he could get dropped again in 2 weeks.
That's exactly right. Here, the roundabout of certain players, certain leagues get dropped, pick up, drop, picked up. And the Chris Shelton effect, he had 10 or 11 homers for the Detroit Tigers in April. You catch a player when they're hot. Tyler Houston batted over 400 one month for the Phillies way back when, and he's filling in for an
Yep.
injured player. So you catch that hot streak, and it's just a golden gem, and people don't really ever think about that. But it's not about their whole year stats all the time. It's like, hey, this guy's not great all the time, but he always has like a month where he's on fire.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So it's been a fun league this year. I hope everyone keeps active. I think we're going to see some trades in coming up. And Steve, I think my team is still in it. I like my team.
I think you're in it too, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Dan O'Day. That's Steve Romano. Thanks for listening to Draft Masters. We'll talk to you next week. Cheers.
Have a good one.